And just checking here if the sound is okay. All right, good. Sounds good. Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started today. We have some folks who do operate this facility if there are some technical questions, but primarily on the agenda, we just have myself flying solo, but also with our financial navigator team lead, Eduardo Esquivel Gonzalez. So he's going to speak a little bit about that. So a couple of updates early on. I think first we're at the John Marshall Health Center, where we have our partnership with FEMA and the State Department of Health, and of course our National Guard, who's helping organize things. This is the walk-up and mobile vaccination site. And so this site does move. We'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit, but just want to let you know where we are. And folks can come down here right now and get their vaccine. And so that's primarily what we did want to share. We'll, again, walk through the mobile program in a little bit, but for anyone tuning in, just come on down to John Marshall. So it's roughly Martin Luther King and Broadway-ish neighborhood. And so just Google it and you can find it that way, real convenient off the freeway. Now, let's see, I do want to mention before we go into a lot of COVID items, we have some really good news from the Sunport. So sort of a news flash Sunport update. We had a update there 2 weeks ago, of course, on our increase on passenger traffic. And we have an announcement that Southwest Airlines is adding back direct flights to 6 cities. That is great. This was one of the biggest challenges that I know just folks trying to get in and out of Albuquerque had. And so we really appreciate Southwest. True to form, they said they would probably do this, and now they're actually doing it. So they're bringing back direct flights to LA, which is like, I got a lot of calls about this one. So direct to LAX is back, and also Austin. And for all the government workers and politicians, the ever popular Baltimore flight is back on Sunday in addition to Saturday. And so folks who do go back and forth to DC know this is kind of the commuter flight for everyone who works in DC during the week and lives here in New Mexico. So that one's back. And also Las Vegas is getting an additional flight every day. So yes, there's more access to partying in Las Vegas. And Chicago Midway is getting an additional Saturday flight. This was another good one for, excuse me, family and tourism that folks had really wanted back. And the Bay Area flight that was really a desire for folks, both for business purposes and for travel, is back. That one is through Oakland. That's now back 7 days a week. So these new flights are a direct response to the demand coming out of the pandemic and to our recovery. So we're going to see even more direct flights coming back online, but this is very, very good news. And we also know that with travel and businesses reopening and events restarting, we're going to see, this summer us coming back to life. And that includes what we're doing with respect to tourism. Also, as a reminder, I was able to find about $1.5 million to inject as a tourism relief package. That's going to direct marketing for tourism. We expect that to be out in the field in June, which is the right time to get tourists for July, August, and September, and even kind of leading up to Balloon Fiesta. So that sort of emergency tourism support is on track and heading out the door. We still have a couple of weeks and sign-offs and so forth, but that should get out the door in June. So when that's ready, we'll share that with you probably in maybe 3 weeks or so, what that program's going to look like. And some of that is through our aviation department, and some of it's through our Lodgers Tax Board and Visit ABQ. Okay, so a little bit more kind of on the business side of the fence. Reopening, of course, we have welcoming news for businesses also happening in that the new round of LEDA recovery grants opens today. That is through the New Mexico Finance Authority. You can reach out to them to apply. And that includes small business recovery, low interest loans up to $150,000 that are still available. That's through nmfinance.com. And these sort of sold out last time, so we expect it to again. So please log in and contact the Finance Authority for how to do that. Now, with respect to a whole host of support for financial resources for families, we also have a lot available there. And to update on sort of what's happening there in terms of capacities being lifted and so forth, I'm going to hand it over to Eduardo Esquivel Gonzalez, the co-director of the New Mexico Dream Team, who's working with the city, partnering with the city to get these efforts out to our families. Eduardo?
Hello everyone. We want to remind you that if you, a family member, a friend, or a neighbor has had any financial hardship this year, you don't have to figure it out alone. We have 2 financial navigators providing a free service to any person in the city to help you navigate all your personal finance questions. So getting together all the resources that are available around the city, helping connect you to that. Si usted, un miembro de su familia, vecino, amigo, ha tenido problemas financieros este año, no están solos y no tienen que navegar todo eso solos. Tenemos a 2 navegadores que están ayudando a los burqueños ahorita a conectar con esos recursos. This service is free, 100% confidential, and is provided in over 300 languages. So our navigators are bilingual in English and Spanish, but they can connect you to live interpretation available in over 300 languages, like I mentioned. So this includes eviction prevention, utility payment assistance, meals, food stamps, unemployment insurance, Medicaid or ACA, health insurance, childcare assistance, the list goes on. Este servicio es gratis, es 100% confidencial y se puede proveer en más de 300 lenguajes. Nuestras navegadoras hablan inglés y español, pero también se pueden conectar a 300 otros lenguajes. Esto es ayuda con pago de renta, comida, desempleo, cuidado de niños. Ellos son expertas y ayudan a navegar estos recursos. So you can call us at 505-768-4242 or visit cabq.gov/finnav. That's FINNAV. Nos pueden hablar directamente al 505-768-4242 o visitarnos al cabq.gov/finnav. Ese es FINNAV. And with that, I'll pass it back to the mayor.
Thanks so much. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much. And a lot more on that. I think all summer, those different programs are going to be available. Now, I also want to highlight for rental assistance that, explicitly there's lots of money available for rental assistance. The state is coordinating that statewide. And so folks can get that at renthelpnm.org, or they can call 1-833-485 or 1334. And our Dream Team partners can also connect you with that too. But wanted folks to know, please take advantage of that state program. Now, with respect to COVID, in terms of where we're at, I want to highlight a couple of things. Our unofficial count has us at about 51% fully vaccinated in the Albuquerque metro area. And so last week, of course, official DOH data showed that statewide we were looking at about 63% with at least one shot. And so this is very good news. We do know that we really want to get to 60%, right, fully vaccinated by mid-June. That's the goal, and that's sort of the target for a full reopen. And so we really want to encourage everyone to do that. And also want to let folks know that, please come back for your second shot. And we want to make sure you get your first one, but if you can, please come back for your second one. And again, it's just all about the various scientific things around immunity and herd immunity and infection rates and all of this. It really helps not just you, right? It helps the entire community if you get that second shot, because it increases the chances of you not getting it, not getting COVID. So anyway, that was a very unscientific way of explaining that, but we really would appreciate it if you get your second shot. And also, of course, we know that anyone 16 plus right now can make an appointment and get a vaccine. So it continues to get easier and easier. And we also are very excited that it looks like very soon we're going to be able to do that for ages 12 and up. And so the feds have basically signed off, and we're hoping the state administration will finish that process tomorrow. So wait and see a little bit. But you can already sign up for an appointment. And so you can already get on that app and sign up. And again, hopefully it'll be a full green light locally here in New Mexico tomorrow. So now, lastly, we want to talk about a little bit about sort of access and ease. We do know that not everyone has the internet. I completely agree and understand with this. Not everyone is comfortable using an app. I had some hesitation. I ended up using it, and I helped my parents do the same thing. But I just want to acknowledge that, the app isn't for everyone. But we want to encourage you to work through your doctor to find a way to get a vaccine. Also to use your pharmacist. So this is another tried and true method for folks from all walks of life as you're getting your either prescription or non-prescription drugs in any pharmacy in town. Just ask about the vaccine and they will help dial you into a way to get it. And that also includes Walmart. It includes CVS and Walgreens. So again, there are many ways to get your vaccine. We love the app, want you to use the app, but it's also okay just to ask your doctor or pharmacist. And so that's a good thing. Now, for a sort of situation of extreme convenience, this is what this mobile center is all about. You can see a car here that just drove up, got their vaccine, and then they're driving off. This mobile center moves. You can track where it is on that app, or our city tweets about where this is, and our environmental health department tracks this. You can even just call 311 and ask. It goes to all 4 quadrants in the city. And what's awesome about this is it's basically, no prep needed. Like literally just drive here and this great team will take care of the rest. So just show up and we'll walk you through the various paperwork, etc. You don't need insurance and they'll take care of everything for you. And while it has been brisk at these sites, there's about 3,500 shots that have been given, there is ample capacity. There is no line. Most of the time. Sometimes there's a line. So just show up. This is a great thing for our community. Again, the Metro Mobile Urban Vaccination Clinic in partnership with the Department of Health and our guard folks. And it's awesome. So just drive and show up. And so we also want to just note that, the city continues to work in partnership with all of these entities. The city's been putting on now 78 points of distribution and has helped with 30,000 doses that have been dispensed. And so it's really an example of that one Albuquerque spirit with all of our partners. And so we believe too, this particular setup, by the way, is really a national model. So, I'm grateful to live in Albuquerque and in New Mexico where we have things like this because a lot of other cities don't. And so take advantage of it and we're grateful for it. Similarly, the Financial Navigators program in the Cities for Financial Empowerment effort with the NM Dream Team is nationally recognized as leading the way in terms of proactive health to underserved communities. And so again, I think, look, another proud point for Braqueños about all the different ways that we're trying to help each other during a pandemic. And also, look, these things aren't happening in other cities. So unfortunate for them, but great for us. It's okay. It's okay for us to brag on that a little bit. So great job, NM Dream Team. Okay, so I think with that, we will also just mention this John Marshall site, for folks who don't know, is one of our 4 emergency health and community site centers, and they have been open the entire pandemic. These are places of last resort to go to for a food box, for clothing, for access to health care, and for rental assistance. All of those things are what these centers provide. Again, there's one in each quadrant. And once again, we're lucky in the city of Albuquerque to have these. And I appreciate our administration and the staff committing. They never closed. And that is an awesome thing and something that I'm very proud of during the pandemic. And look, for those workers who stayed healthy but also put themselves at risk, we really appreciate that. So with that, we're here to take a few questions on ranges from airport to mobile vaccines to pandemic and whatnot. So leading us through those, I think today is Babak.
Yeah. Any questions here?
Yeah, just a quick thing. Brody with Care QE, Mayor. Just want to confirm that number of fully vaccinated folks in the Albuquerque metro area is that 51%, and again, about how many folks is that, and what do you think of that number just in general?
Yeah, so that is again that's our ABQ Metro count that comes from our Emergency Operations Center. it's usually been pretty close. It's a little bit like a weather forecast, but it's been actually super accurate of late. And to do the math on that, Roger, what would you put that out? 200,000? If you're looking at, I think that it's out of the eligible percentage. So I think the absolute number is a little less important in terms of, what is the eligible percentage in Albuquerque Metro. I mean, I'd ballpark it at 500,000, so we'll call it 250,000, but that's all unofficial there. Go with 51% instead. Sound good, Roger? Okay. He's the man in charge of all this. So, all right. So good question. And how do I feel about it? We're right where we want to be. We want to get to 60, so we need more, but also we're in good shape. And compared to other cities, we do track this data. We are number 2 in the Southwest, or sort of the major Western cities on vaccination percentage. So once again, a leadership position in a time of health crisis. And this has been the same with the percentage of folks' positivity rate and also the percent positive cases. We've been 1 or 2 out of major cities in the West the whole way through. And another reason why I'm grateful to live here, and a reflection, I think, is some good leadership by the city.
Thanks. Any other questions? Yeah, Patrick.
Anything about vaccine hesitancy that you guys are trying to address, or any kind of pushes to urge people to get out here and get the shot?
I think in terms of vaccine hesitancy, what we want to really emphasize is, number one, is getting easier and easier to get it. So it now, in this example, you can just drive up. That's all you need to do. And so I think that's a really good thing. I just want folks who are hesitant to know, 1, it's very easy to get now. 2, look, as each week passes, we show more and more how effective and important the vaccine is. So, all the data you need gets better and better each week. And so now is the time, I think, really to go ahead and get it while it's widely available, and also while it really helps for the public health situation. And look, we know also with flu shots and things, there's always a percentage of folks who either don't want to get it, or maybe they have underlying health conditions and so forth. But we know that somewhere between 20% and 50%, there's 30% that are just hesitant. And so for the hesitation folks, now is the time to go get it done. And so that would really help out your neighbor, your family, and of course yourself. And so now is the right time to do it.
We're about a week into the turquoise. Do you have any initial takeaways from what you've seen these past few days?
Turquoise is beautiful. And so we see beneath our turquoise sky, our city just awakening to all things Burque. It's awesome to see. The restaurants are packed. The mall is packed. First Friday, which is our downtown art walk, just a reminder, only happens once a month, not every Friday. There were thousands of people literally dancing in the street, including my kids, on Friday night, and it was safe. It was a celebration, and also great for businesses and artists. So it's great to see that. And of course, got to see the Isotopes take to the field for the first time. United on TV at Civic Plaza, but they're coming back Saturday as the home game. So I think it is just a real time of resurgence and recovery and rejoice, but also some retrospection. We've been through some tough times. So it's good to see the fabric of our city sort of being reconnected. But also, I know for folks, it's hard to think about all we've been through. So it's also okay just to celebrate a little bit.
And Mayor, really quick here too, we've obviously reported on several stories about businesses struggling to hire folks back with unemployment or whatnot benefits, and obviously you heard about Workforce Solution, holding folks more accountable or things like that yesterday. So again, just a message about that, or your thoughts on that, just again, businesses struggling to hire folks even though there are people who are unemployed.
Yeah, this has certainly been a real challenge. And number one is, if folks do need the help, we want them to get it. And I think the good news is they are. The issue is, of course, now a workforce supply problem. The city is seeing it also. We have a shortage of transit drivers. We have a shortage of solid waste drivers. And we have a shortage of facilities security. We desperately need people to come back to work. And so I would say, I think a couple of things. I hope the feds can maybe tweak this a little bit. I think we could use some help from DC because that's really what's driving this. So I'm glad the state is holding people accountable. I support and encourage that. And we also need the feds just to maybe take a little bit more sophisticated approach. Early on, we wanted a blunt instrument, right? Get people the help they need. Now we need to transition out instead of having sort of that blunt instrument still in place. So I do hope they change a little bit of the scoring and things like this and the time frames. But I would mention this. All that's supposed to go away in August. So I do want folks to know, just remember for your own planning, your family financial planning, your career planning, try and at least line up a job for August 1, which means you should be looking now. And you should be saying, I can start August 1 and getting all that in place. And I will just say for the city, for the hundreds of vacancies that we have, we'll do this with you. So sign up, say yes, you can start on August 1 and it'll be timed with your benefits. So that's a good way we can all work together to reopen.
Great. Any other questions here? We've got one online.
Great. So Jessica Dyer from the Journal would like to know how many people have used the Financial Navigator program since it launched earlier this year?
Sure, we'll turn that question on the navigators over to Eduardo from the Dream Team.
So far, we've been able to help around 190 people from all over the city, connecting them to around 2,000 different resources.
Thanks. All right, I think that's it for questions.
All right, well, thanks so much. And press corps, if you haven't met Babak, he's new. You can razz him a little bit. He's been around for a while, though, but coming over from the State House, actually. So we're glad to have him. All right, thanks, everybody. Have a good week.